Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. This is the League of Europe PC Tier round number 5 here at Marina Bay in Singapore. My name's King Kodiak, and I will be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box, as always, is the one and only, the world's most beautiful Batman. He's not come back. Come back, Mr. Bat. You were muted, sir.
So sorry. Yes, I was muted indeed. What I was trying to say, I muted myself to not interrupt your intro. What I was trying to say is every single time you introduce me, it just puts a smile on my face. Thank you so much.
I am here to entertain.
It is Singapore. It is the second slowest circuit on the whole F1 calendar. And I think the slowest circuit on our League of Europe calendar, because we are not doing Monaco here in League of Europe, because quite frankly, every single time Monaco comes up on the calendar, it's just an S show. I think you know what word I'm trying to put in there, but it's just, you can't overtake. The qualifying is more interesting than the race. Not necessarily the case here. Singapore, you do have overtaking opportunities, so as interesting and as important as the qualifying is, the race certainly interesting as well. And one change that we observe around this circuit compared to F1 2020 is that general physics change that really does well for Singapore, where your wing setup, running higher wings, higher downforce, does not affect the ERS usage as much anymore. It used to be different, now it's not the case anymore. So the drivers will have a bit more ERS available to use, generally speaking, per lap, or will at least be able to use it longer. And that might make for some overtaking action. It's still on the lower end compared to other tracks, but certainly more of an opportunity to overtake through the course of the race. And it's an interesting circuit as well with the tires, I gotta say. This is the weirdest one, generally speaking, throughout the whole season. Because you have soft tires that basically, I mean, you look at them the wrong way and they go off. They're done for. This is the only track where Lewis Hamilton could legitimately complain about the tires after 3 laps to Bono. And because the soft tires last 9 laps, and that's including the qualifying lap.
Oosh.
So, yeah, they don't last long whatsoever. The medium tire, that's quite an interesting one. It lasts 16 laps, which is roughly half the race. It's 0.8 of a second slower. And then you've got the hard tire, and I don't know what they were thinking, but the hard tire does last 28 laps, which is almost the whole race.
Indeed.
But here comes the kicker. In fresh condition, that hard tire is 2.5 seconds a lap slower than the softs.
Oh, is that just made out of bricks or something? That is awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no rubber involved anymore. I think this might be F1. It might be Codemaster's plan and Pirelli's plan to just go, fully, I don't know, climate neutral or something, and no rubber was used in the production of these tires.
And then the soft go on.
The hard tire, you have no pace on it, but you can make the one stop work. Otherwise, it's a clear 2-stop. For the drivers later on. Soft, medium. Again, the medium tire. It's pretty good. Again, 0.8 of a second, and it lasts almost double. So certainly the choice, but most likely a 2-stop. You can go for the 1-stop with the hards, but who really wants that?
Well, we've got first time on the board, 35-6, number of the devil. We have 15 drivers with us. Everybody out on circuit. Oh, Cookie, our championship leader, has just invalidated his lap. Sniper has jumped into second with a 36-2. Looks like a nice symmetry there. Both of the drivers at a time have managed to make their tenths, hundreds and thousands of the same digit. Well done. I do appreciate that. 2 drivers going up. Richard's I would be impressed if everyone else managed to do that as well. That will be a feat. Sneaky in the house has jumped up to the top spot with a 34.087. Most people trying the mediums. Bryn Evans. Have we seen Bryn before? I have a feeling we've seen Bryn before.
Yes, we have.
But wasn't that last season?
Yeah, it was last season, not this season.
I thought so.
He's made his return.
Glad to see you back in the Ferrari. Let's have a look what the championship standings are looking like. So Cookie is currently top of the table. His win streak has been stopped. It has been stopped by, is he here? No, Dropshire was the winner at Silverstone last week. Unfortunately, we couldn't stream it as for various reasons, so we didn't get to see the newcomer's victory. Velo is in second position. Do we have Velo with us? Answer is no. Velo is not present tonight. Third is Dropshire. Fourth is is Sneaky with that 34087 as mentioned. Fifth is RJW, as he's just set his time with a 34622. And sixth in the list is LTU. LTU is not here tonight. Seventh, a bit of a surprise. Seventh is J. Cole. Where is J. Cole? Now he is here. There he is. Yet to get a time on the board and is taking a bit of a shorter route back to the pits in the Alfa Romeo. Now, J. Cole was in championship contention last season. I know we're only, this is the 5th round of the season. I grant you that, but he's really struggling. Some 50 points behind Cookie at the moment. 8th is Ollie. And there he is, yet to come out of the pits in the Mercedes, or has returned to the pits, I should say. Even more surprising from J. Cole is actually Merckx, who is currently in 10th position in the McLaren. Without a time on the board. He's down in 9th overall in the championship. Sparky in 10th place is with us. There he is. Just coming around to set another lap. Burning up those soft tyres somewhat. Amazingly, Bryn Evans has done 2 laps on the medium tyres. He's just invalidated that one as I've jumped to him. And 35.1, that's not bad. I mean, you said there was, 8 tenths of a difference between the softs and the mediums?
Yeah, exactly. It would put him 1 position higher if he had basically gotten the same performance out of the soft tires. Would have been ahead of RJW there, but there's pretty good lap time from him there.
Impressive effort.
Yeah.
Dan is out there at the moment in the Williams. So Sparky is in 10th as in the championship, as mentioned. Kango Khan is 11th. Where's Kango Khan? There he is in 7th position. That's not him. He's in the pits anyway, so most people returning to the pits. That's one of the McLarens coming back out. Is it Kango? Oh, Rashaz has retired from the session. It's in the final section. Oh, he's stuck in the wall. Yeah. Oh, will we find him? Now, we're running on board with D. Parry in the Aston Martin.
Who is get there in time is the question. That might get really close.
Don't reckon he's going to. I think that car's going to despawn.
Oh, he is.
Oh, no, there he is.
Middle of the circuit there. Wow. Now he has despawned, his car has been brought off track. That seems like a heavy impact there. I don't even know how you really do that there. I'm running a little bit wide. Well, if we go to, let me just quickly find, I think Dan Field in 7th, we can sort of, see a little bit and examine this
you can invent a word. It's fine.
On the exit, if you look on the exit here, that wall comes back at you right there.
That
wall has a little bit of an inlet on the right side, and then it punches back towards the track. That might be why Richards is out there.
Good call.
That can certainly catch you out, and it's not the only one of its kind around this circuit. A couple of spots here that are slightly dangerous, I have to say. You find it quickly. We're going to have the McLaren of Merckx getting to another one of those spots here on the left and on the right on this short straight. We have 2 other spots that you don't want to hit, where you just have slight situations where if you are too close to the wall, you just get caught in it. And at that point, it's just going to rip the car around, and tires are going to be off, and everything's going to be just absolute horrible calamity that is going on there. And another spot, and that might be the one that catches out the drivers on lap 1. That would have to be, if I can find the driver, it's Sniper in P6. We're heading to that corner right now. It's the next right-hander, and on the exit, on the left side, we're going to see there is a little bit of a thing there as well, a little bit of a black stripe that you can see there, and that's also another one of those inlets. But if you grind along that wall at that particular spot, your front left tire might very well just fall off, and that's the end of that.
Fair point, well made. So, as mentioned earlier, we're going through the championship order. Kangaskhan in 11th. Jake is in 12th. Jake is not here, I don't think. No, Jake is not present. Lucky Finger in 13th. He is in 4th at the moment. There he is in the Williams. Black Panther in 14th. Black Panther, I think, is present. Or is he? No, Black Panther is not with us tonight. Super Noob. Nope. No Super Noob either. And finally, Sniper at the tail end of the field. Sniper currently in a solid, respectable 6th position in the Alpine, and that one was an invalid lap. A lot of people burning up soft tyres. So, but then you were saying earlier, as Ollie gets into 2nd position with a 35.4, you're saying they don't last long anyway. So, are we going to be seeing 2 stops? Do you think soft, medium, medium?
I think generally speaking, yes, for most drivers. I've seen before drivers making it work with a medium to hard strategy. It's possible, but you want to either way take those mediums as long as possible because they are just that good of a race. So you want to take them about maybe not the full 16 laps, but I would say like 13, 14 if you qualify on them, 14 to 15 if you don't.
Let's follow our championship leader Cookie through the lap. We've done turns 1, 2 and 3. The quick jink of 4. Now the 90-degree right-hander of turn 5. All of these corners come at you in very rapid succession. Turn 6, kiss the wall if you dare. And then into what is called Memorial Corner. Let's hope no one needs a memorial down there, although that's probably one of the few places that actually has a runoff area in it. Oh, a little bit deep. Going through turn 8, swing through the turn 9. The car does not want to behave itself as... there we go. So, yeah, so he's actually on the medium tyres. I just realised I had that set to best. So sweeping through turns 11 and 12. And then the the Singapore Sling, which is turn 10, then 11, 12. And now into that tight right-hander, left-hander rather, of 13. Screaming up towards another tight turn, turn 14. Kiss the apex. Don't wander too far over to the barriers. And ignore turn 15, fairly non-existent in these cars, but set yourself up nicely for this sequence of corners we've seen already. Clean! Whoa! As Cookie almost understeers into, well, almost oversteers indeed into the wall through 2021. This is where Rashaz came to a sticky end. Last 2 turns. He's managed to keep this one valid. What's it going to be? Medium tyres on the board. And it's a 33.534 on the medium tyres.
I mean, that's more than just a benchmark. That is more than just a benchmark. That's basically fighting words towards everyone else. Come and try.
Come
and
on, then.
Win if you dare.
Wow, that is astonishing.
That's a remarkable lap. I mean, let's compare this to J. Cole, also on the mediums in P7 right now. 35.6. We're talking 2.1 seconds between Cookie and J. Cole here. And J. Cole, if you remember, way back when, last season, not that long ago, but nonetheless, J. Cole's done pretty well for himself last season. So it's surprising to see, the runner-up was, of course, Velo, who won last season, but to see the runner-up be, dominated really at this point, to the point of 2.1 seconds. So I am amazed.
That's astonishing, isn't it? Absolutely unreal. As RJW is slowing down, he's letting one of the Mercedes through. That's Ollie. That's come through. Most people now coming back out on track. Sneaky still in the pit lane, along with Bryn Evans, Lucky Finger, and Merkt. Interesting, Merck staying in the pits for a very long time. Is he going to do a last-minute banzai, or is he going to start towards the back? Now, this is a very divisive circuit, isn't it? You either really enjoy it or you absolutely detest it. It's not one that usually gets a "it's okay" kind of vote, in my experience. It's either absolutely terrifying or it's an absolute thrill. I'm pretty sure I'd be in the first category. What are your thoughts towards the Singapore version of Monaco?
That's a great way to put it. But it is thankfully a little bit faster than that, and
yes.
therefore a little bit better at least. But yeah, it's difficult. It's complicated, I think, is the best way to describe it. It's sort of a love-hate relationship for me. Strong feelings both ways, but yeah. It's a circuit that will definitely punish you if you make even a tiny mistake, and that can be good for some drivers. I think those are the drivers that quite like this, the ones that are saying, you know what, I want the other drivers to be punished for their mistakes. I'm not making any, so I'm feeling good about this. And then, you know, you have very few overtaking opportunities, so good qualifiers are going to like this, which means I don't, because I'm more of a race pace kind of person. I'm quite the opposite of George Russell. I'm Mr. Not Saturday, Mr. Sunday more so. But yeah, it's for me. It's not necessarily that good of a second, but it also forces you, and that's what I like about what I love about it. Really, it forces you to get creative with overtaking. Because you don't have that one outright overtaking opportunity. Sure, you could say, turn 6, left-hander, you know, or turn 7, I think, is left-hander. That is possibly a good overtaking opportunity at the end of the second DRS straight. You know, that could work, but it's not the only one. You have a third DRS straight here as well that's been added fairly recently. I think about just 1 or 2 years ago. That's on the back straight at the exit, like after the Singapore Sling. Then you have 11 and 12, then over the bridge. 13 and 14, and on the exit of 14. Is that count? Does that count as 2 corners or 1? That is the question I have right now.
What, in between the Singapore Sling and the really tight left-hander?
Yeah, just
that's
before
2.
The tight left-hander, there's a right-hand king.
Yeah, that's 2 turns, 10, 11, and 12.
No, 11 and 12 are clearly corners.
oh, you mean that? Oh, well, yeah, sorry, I see what you mean. The really non-easy. No, that doesn't have a turn number.
Okay, because for the drivers, let me tell you, it's more of a turn than turn 2 at Austria.
Where
more.
J. Cole's just coming up to it now. So you mean this little, not according to the map not according to the map I have. That's got no turn.
Okay, surprising, because again, for the drivers, this really is very much a turn because it changes your approach to the braking zone into 13.
It does rather, doesn't it? Well, I think J. Cole's just gone purple sector 1. If I've just seen my map correctly. Sorry, sector 2.
That could very well be. I wouldn't trust that. 36.6 in the middle sector there. 36.684. That's not a purple sector.
Okay.
It's half a second behind Cookie.
It's lying to me. Ollie is up. Ollie is up to second. He split the front row. So he's invalidated his next lap, but he probably was done on those tyres anyway. So a 33. Oh, another 33. Never mind. The house front row has been resumed. 33.659. Needed a soft set of tyres to get within a 10.
Spinning across the line. If he gets P4, but if he had not spun across the line, it could have been P3 for him. But he started spinning on the exit of the final corner. Thankfully for him, that finish line comes early on the straight, very early, about 50 to 100 meters out of the corner. And that was very, very helpful there for Bryn, because otherwise he would have lost even more time. But rarely ever have you seen someone spin across the line on the exit or on the final lap of qualifying and still improve.
That's a great feat. Yeah, usually you see that in like the showboating phase, don't you, when someone's about to throw their car into the wall anyway. But no, not well. Extra style points for Ferrari and for Bryn Evans. Nicely done. I think we're just waiting for Ollie and D. Parry, I believe, to retire from the session, and the qualifying will be deemed to be complete, or it'll be forced to be complete in a minute anyway. But it's another pole position for the medium shod Cookie, And that's rounded out by Sneaky front row. Old Haas again. I'm getting messages. Let me just double check what they are. I know that's going to cause the stream to stop, for which I apologise for. It's nothing I need to worry about right now. That's absolutely fine. Just get my windows back.
Meanwhile, the two drivers have retired, Ollie and D. Parry. So,
Okey-dokey.
yeah, qualifying over and done with, and we can head on to the race. And it's once again a Haas 1-2. They are the only team over 100 points so far this season.
Amazing stuff.
By the looks of things, I mean, Alfa Romeo is pretty close with Velo and J. Cole. They're sitting at 88 right now, but yeah, that's a 27-point lead for Haas then, who are sitting at 115 already. 77 by Cookie and another 38 by Sneaky. So, yeah, I think that seems to be the battle this season, Haas versus Alfa Romeo, which isn't something I really thought I would be saying all too much. But hey, here we are. It is quite interesting. Obviously, all the cars are on equal performance, and as such, that's what really makes this battle possible in the first place.
Indeed.
But otherwise, I want to see Cookie and Sneaky try and get wins in a Haas on realistic performance. I'm not so sure that Cookie couldn't do it. I think he might actually be able to, but it would be a whole lot harder.
Sign him up for the Challenger Series if he could.
Anyway, the drivers are now making some final tweaks to their setups. There is Parc Ferme, of course, but the drivers are still allowed to make changes potentially to their front wing. Don't think they will do that. I think the wing setup is going to stay put. The differential, don't think that will change too much either. The brake bias, that changes over the course of the lap usually anyway. And finally, the tire pressures. And I think that's the one that's hugely important here, because the tires can overheat quite easily. Obviously, Singapore, very humid, very hot kind of climate here. And it is reflected in the game as well to be that way. So what the drivers tend to do in qualifying, they tend to run maximum tire pressure, because in the game, and I know this might not always be perfectly realistic, but in the game it gives you the highest amount of grip, but it also gives you the highest amount of tire temperature, and that's the thing you don't want. So in one lap of qualifying, you know, your tire temperature isn't going to matter too much. You start the lap on cool tires when they're just inside that operating window, sort of 85 degrees Celsius, and they can work their way up to 105, no issue. But other than that, you know, in a race where you constantly, for 31 laps, over 150 kilometers, you're just going to be on the edge the whole time. The last thing you need is overheating tires, so generally the drivers take down those tire pressures just a notch or two to get them inside that 105 degree operating window. Really 104 degree. 105 is already too much. At 104 they start overheating a little bit. So that's what they have done there. Now they are already 2/3 through the formation lap, and let's look at the tires. Of course, for the top 10, no surprises there, because that's what they qualified on.
Kangakon's taking a risk.
Yeah, outside the top 10, exactly. Kangakon's somewhat of a surprise there on the hard tires. He will drop down like a stone. Difference between the hards and the mediums, 1.6 seconds. So, and between the hards and the softs, of course, 2.5. That's, yeah, per lap. That's not, you know, over the whole stint or anything. No. So every single lap he's going to lose 1.6 seconds to those medium runners if they are on the same pace as him. So Richards and Parry, I would say try and get past that McLaren as quickly as possible.
As they come up to the line now, they'll be under AI control. Just waiting for the Aston of D. Parry to take his grid position. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Right then. So Haas take on the front row. And what can those behind them do? Kangakon, I fear that mistake is going to haunt you, sir. Right then, here we go. We know this process. It is time to wind them up and let them go. And who is going to have the greatest start? You would look to Sneaky to try and use those soft tires to his advantage. And no one told Cookie that those tyres are slower. He is already... Oh, no, we've got lots of adjusting further behind. Of course we do, because it's Singapore. And it looks like everyone's survived so far, but lots of bumping and jostling and all sorts going on. Looks like Sniper is just being absolutely mugged down there. Was that what you were seeing?
No, I was looking at Sparky and Lucky Finger. I think Lucky Finger was the one who was mugged almost the most here alongside Dan. But Lucky Finger was up, or I think maybe it was Dan actually. It was one of the Williams. I'm pretty sure it was Dan actually and Sparky who came together, started P5 and P6. They had contact on the apex of turn 1. They were both sort of sliding around, and you see here Sparky lost 1 position. Dan even more so, he lost 4 in that whole battle there in turn 1. And yeah, Dan lost more than anyone else right now. Lucky Finger, so not a good start whatsoever for both Williams drivers. 7 positions combined lost between the two. And KangoCon, that is surprising.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's battling here with Dan over 8th place. He will not be able to hold Dan back because on these tires, he's just, again, like, sure, he's navigated well on the first lap so far to try and get around and through as many people as possible, but now when everything sorts itself out, the lack of pace of those hard tires is really going to show. Yeah,
absolutely. And look at Cookie already getting a good distance between him. As what has happened to Cookie?
It's a glitch. It's just a timing glitch.
It must be, because he's fine.
Yeah. Who's
not fine though is D Parry, who's got a fair chunk of front wing missing and is coming in to get it sorted out. The Aston Martin is not in a happy place, unfortunately. But oh well, go to the timing tower now, figuring out who is where, and it should now stop. No, it still reckons D Parry's in the lead. That's impressive.
Yeah, D Perry will have to cross the first sector split.
Okay.
And since he's still in the pit lane, it's going to take a while.
Well, as much as D Perry would love to lead, that is not the case at the moment. So Cookie leads Sneaky, leads Bryn Evans, leads Ollie, leads Merck. So Merck's actually had a fairly decent start. Of course, the timing tower is slightly incorrect on how many positions going at the moment, as these guys scream their way through the streets. So it looks like D Parry, the only one to have fallen victim of, or certainly the only one needing a pit stop so far. KangoCon now relegated back down to 10th position with his unusual strategy. There we go, the timing tower now correct. I'm just stunned. I probably shouldn't be stunned at how quick Cookie is on those apparently slower tyres, unless he knows something that we don't. Bryn Evans already with it's burned! Oh, the Ferrari's round! That's on the final turn! I mean, he's ghosted, so he's able to kind of rejoin the circuit quite like that. You wouldn't normally try and do that. But, oh my goodness, he's already got himself a penalty and now is at the back end of the field, other than D Parry, obviously. There's going to be damage, I would have thought, on that Ferrari because he clouted the wall and he's really struggling to get that nose to turn in. So he's getting understeer, oversteer, every steer he's getting in that car at the moment. Oh dear, that race has gone horribly wrong. He's bouncing off the walls. That car is wounded.
Yeah, you can clearly tell that there is some issue there. You see the left side end plate of that front wing is gone. And that is very, very painful around this circuit in particular. And he's around again, and that's the front wing completely torn off, completely gone, really just clean off the nose. And I'm trying to see right now what happened through that penultimate corner because I'm pretty sure you were on it somewhat. Oh no, we just saw the end of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looked like from the moment that we cut to it that he lost it on his own, but whether he was helped, we don't entirely know.
Certainly, I don't think Ollie was involved, that he was too far away for that. But I think what happened was that the inside curb of the final 2 corners here, that can quite unsettle the car. And there is a little bit of elevation change, a little bit of undulation in that final corner in particular, it is of course two left-hand corners back to back that are sort of driven as one, but that count as two. And in that second part of the corner, there's a bit of undulation, there's a bit of bumpiness in the road, and that can really unsettle the car as well. If you step on the throttle just too early, then that will easily make the rear of the car come around. And yeah, that is, I think, what happened there for Bryn, who is now entering the pit lane to get a new front wing or potentially retire. Hopefully only a front wing. Nope.
I thought he would. I thought he would.
Yeah.
Merckx is hustling Ollie for that third position spot. I wonder if Ollie has burned the best out of those soft tyres already. You said they were fairly spongy, and Merckx has been all over the back of the Black Arrow for quite some time. So we'll see if the McLaren is able to bully his way past. He does look like he's got the pace advantage, but nowhere to utilise it at the moment. And Ollie just doing what he needs to do to continue his pace and his racing line. There's DRS open on the McLaren, nowhere really to use it coming down into turn 14. Patience is really the name of the game here. If you've got that pace advantage, you will have an opportunity to use it. And Kangaskhan has actually remained in a point-paying position. Yes, okay, helped a little bit with the misadventures of others. He's now got J. Cole right on his tail. I wonder whether this is a circuit that just doesn't suit J. Cole at all, because we've really seen him towards the very sharp end, but not every track suits every driver, and I would suspect that this is one that doesn't suit him in particular.
Yeah, it almost seems like, I mean, usually throughout the season he's never been that far down the order, and for him to be that far down the order this time around really makes you think maybe this circuit is not his favourite.
Lucky Finger's in trouble. He was sort of crawling rather strangely into the pit lane there. So whether he's clouted the wall on his way in, I didn't really see because it's caught that a little bit late. Is the Williams going to have any new... Oh, as Merckx has finally managed to overcome Ollie coming down into turn 7. Now, does the... No, that was a fairly short stop from the Williams. He's got going again. There's maybe a bit of an uncomfortable pit lane entry for him. And now, again, Merckx is really getting on with it. He's leaving that Mercedes for dead. As he chases off now after Sneaky. Dan and RJW... Oh, that is close. To make that turn down there in the Singapore Sling, turn 10 is really, really close. And Dan Fields has just lost 2. He's missing a piece of front wing. There's another bit of carbon fibre that's been discarded. V8 Field has just lost a couple of spots there, so he'll almost certainly be heading to the pits. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not a circuit you would generally just... Yeah, there are some circuits where if you pick up a bit of damage, you kind of deal with it until your pit stop. This is not one of those, if I'm right.
I mean, this certainly isn't one of those, but I think on this game there isn't such a circuit anymore.
Okay.
Because if basically compared to the previous game, I think on the previous game, if you get damage at Monza, you're like, okay, sure, fine. You lose what, maybe half a second a lap from it if you get like minor damage. On this game, if you get minor damage on that front wing, even at Monza, you're losing a second and a half a lap. And at Singapore, you're losing to the tune of 2.5, 3 seconds from it.
We've got trouble.
Lap.
I think, Rashad has spun on the line. He tried to repeat what Bryn did on qualifying, and that's not gone well for him, as Sneaky is in the pits along with Dan Field. Sneaky's gone on. Now Sneaky's gone onto the hard tyres. Sparky's got himself a penalty. He's been shoved off the road, or he's gone off the road, having an argument with Ollie for what is currently third position. There is Dan. Oh no, he's round! That's another car that's gone round in that same spot. That front wing is now utterly wrecked. We did think this was going to happen, and another front wing needed. That's a long way to limp back to the pits as well. Whoa! Yeah, just look how difficult that car is to control with the damage he's got.
Yeah, another little change to F1 2021 compared to F1 2020. The tire change, the temperature change from the surface to the carcass has been the rate has been increased, which means if the surface when the surface gets hot, the carcass gets hotter quicker. But also when the surface gets colder, then the carcass gets colder quicker. What that does is if you spin it increases tire temperature further, which makes the car even harder to control after a spin. But also, it should cool down the tires a bit more later on once you get going again, if you are careful, which doesn't necessarily seem like Sparky is all too much. He wants to push, but this is where you need to sort of learn that at this point you can't push anymore, because if you do, you just keep the tires in that high temperature range where they do not perform whatsoever. And I think they have cooled down now, but still into the pit lane he goes, obviously, for a new front wing. And I just wanted to say, because Bryn obviously retired earlier on after getting front wing damage himself, I feel like this is one of the two tracks where you don't want to retire, even if misfortune strikes early on. Because we know, at least in real life, every single Singapore Grand Prix has had at least one safety car. And I gotta say, that somewhat translates into the game. I haven't seen many races here around Singapore where there hasn't been a safety car.
Merckx has just let Kangaskhan and Jacob through, but his front wing looks okay. I think he made a mistake somewhere down either turn 9 or the Singapore Sling or something like that. Kangaskhan, with starting on the hard tyres, is up to 3rd, but quite a few people have gone on to the hard tyres, probably because they've had to, more than out of choice.
Something isn't right with Merckx. He's short shifting a lot, and he was running in 8th gear at like 220 kilometers an hour. Usually you would run in 8th gear around the circuit at like 270 to 80. That's when you shift into 8th gear. He's running really, really slowly, really cautiously. Maybe, but there seems to be no fuel issue. Maybe he's got an equipment issue. He's heading into the pit lane. You wouldn't expect that from the medium tires so early. No damage on the car. I think this might be an equipment issue for Merckx.
Oh, what a shame. But he hasn't retired just
Although
yet.
they are bringing a new front wing.
So maybe it was damaged. It looked okay from our perspective, but
yeah,
it's often very difficult to judge from a spectator standpoint. Hard tyres for the McLaren. Well, okay. I guess he's retired it. He's opted not to continue. So yeah, I think you were right. It's Hair Badger. I think he's had a equipment malfunction on his side. That's a huge shame, because he was really running well. And he's in real need of points as well in this season. But yet again, tragedy has struck. J. Cole still on the back of Kangaskhan. I'm stunned that Kangaskhan's making those hard tyres work, because RJW's just gone past Ollie. There's Lucky Finger, a little bit on his own. So 13 cars remain in this race. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This is a circuit you just want to, whilst it's frustrating if tragedy does strike, this is a circuit where almost everyone is going to be that much more susceptible to an incident. Safety car aside, just how many dead front wings have we seen already? So
yeah, exactly.
This is definitely a circuit you want to kind of persist with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at how many cars haven't pitted yet. 6. We started with 15. And 6 cars have not pitted yet after 8 laps. So that gives you an idea as to how difficult it is to keep your nose clean and keep your nose on, quite frankly, on the car. So I think this is the main reason why we see Kangaskhan in P3. I expected him to drop like a stone, but he's holding himself quite well there. Seems to be quite a floaty stone, I gotta say. But yeah, it's just testament to how important it is here to keep your car out of the walls, and that is half the trick here. Although we have had a couple of, I gotta say, we have had a couple of scheduled pit stops, of course, for the soft runners as well. Lucky Finger, I remember, was one of them. I think RJW was another. But if we count those 2 as well, then we've had 8 that haven't lost any kind of front wing, had any kind of damage. Sneaky, was that a scheduled pit stop? Probably. I didn't see him crash or anything, and he didn't lose.
Sneaky was in very early.
Yeah, so Sneaky, Lucky Finger, Ollie, and RJW those were all scheduled pit stops. No front wing change there, but we've seen 4 front wings lost already. P. Perry, Bryn Evans, Danfield, and Sparky. And Merckx somewhat as well, but he retired before the pit stop was completed. So, yeah, lots going on here with damage. And it really is a race of attrition, just like Monaco. which we've mentioned now quite a few times at this point, and I think for good reason.
Yeah, completely. But that's the nature of Singapore, isn't it? It's like I was saying earlier, it's a very divisive circuit where you either really, really thrive when these very tight, twisty street circuits that punish you for any minor error, or they absolutely terrify the life out of you. And I know damn well which camp I'm in, and it isn't the first one. It's very... These kind of circuits... even if I try and, if I work hard in staying within the lines, just the fact the barriers are that close... I wince as a spectator, let alone as a driver. I'd make a hopeless passenger. You know those two-seater, passenger cars you see at racing events?
Yeah.
I'd be pathetic in one of those at this circuit. I would be screaming my head off, and they would definitely have to clean it when I got out of it.
See, I would really enjoy experiencing this, quite frankly. And to me, whenever I do Singapore on my team, I gotta say, for me, it's always something I somewhat look forward to, but at the same time, I don't, because I know how long it is. This is one aspect that I feel like, I think in real F1 is talked about quite a bit. It is such a long race. And for the drivers, IRL, of course, also such an exhausting race because it's so hot and humid that it heats up in the cockpit. And, of course, the drivers here don't have to experience, thank goodness. Otherwise, they'd absolutely... they would have to hydrate at least 2 liters of water over the course of the race alone. But thankfully, that's not the case. But still, it's such a long race. And that, to keep up the concentration for almost an hour... it's just something that these drivers don't necessarily experience all the time. The longest race outside of Singapore that these drivers tend to do is Mexico, and that's usually about a 45-minute race.
And
everything else is shorter than that.
Mexico has got miles of runoff area, absolutely everywhere, as we see.
Not just that.
Go on.
But not just that, they have long straights as well, where you
True.
can take a breather, be like, okay, now I can check some stuff, check the tires, check the tire temperature, talk to Jeff, maybe ask him for weather or something. You can hear where you can ask Jeff in case it's going to rain. And it rains a lot in Singapore, let me tell you. Where you going to ask Jeff? Main straight, possibly. Out of turn 5, possibly. That's about the only 2 spots where you can do it. Other than that, it's just corner after corner after corner after corner. And it just never stops. 23 corners over a 5-kilometer circuit. About the most corners per distance. I think there's a straight on average every 200 and something, 220 meters. There's nothing. Monza has a corner about every 500 meters.
Every 3 to 5 days.
Not on weekends either.
You're working to... Oh, someone's round. Who's taking a spin?
Safety car! Safety car!
Oh, Deep Harry's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. That's another... safety car, as you say. Well, that's another front wing he'll need. He's already had another one whilst we've been talking. And Cookie has sensibly dived into the pits at this point.
That's clever.
But
is he going, the question is he going for hards or mediums? I'm personally more inclined to go for the hards. Go to the end at this point. Everyone else behind him is going to pit as well. Yeah, the hard tires. Yeah. Dan should go for hards as well. Don't know what Kangakon's doing. The drivers only have 1 set of hards, so he's going for mediums here. Risky. Might work, though. Depending on how long the safety car stays out, the medium tire might be the right choice here for Kangakon. Starting on the hard tire doesn't look so bad at all anymore.
No.
Amazing.
But that, I bet, was what he was banking on. We were trying to figure that out, weren't we, at the beginning of the race?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
And now we did. Now, for the viewers, we did bet on how much, with no monetary value. We don't condone betting, but we did have a gamble on how many times we'd see the safety car, and I was going stupid, and I was going to say 3. J. Cole, you've done it again. That's twice now, I think you've done that. Yes, it is twice he's done that.
Yep.
Silly boy. I'll get the right detail up in a minute. Yeah, so there you go. So RJW's actually been in the pits twice, and D. Parry's going through for a 3rd time. Oh dear.
I gotta say, since I talked earlier about how I wouldn't just give up after like one incident. Indeed, Perry's case. No, I was going to say that earlier, but now that it has happened, I think it's a good thing to talk about it. Once you are lapped, because you're not allowed to unlap yourself, unlike in real F1 where you are, here you're not allowed to unlap yourself behind the safety car. It's, it's the kind of situation where I'd be like, you know what? I'm lapped. I have no way of getting back into this race. Screw it. Day's done. Thank you very much. We'll see you next
True.
week. But
True, but if we're going to have a higher percentage of retirements anywhere in the calendar, it's going to be here in Monaco, isn't it? So we could
Singapore.
have that here and Monaco.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So he may well be banking on the fact that there's going to be another 3 retirements. We've seen it before. We've seen it in LOE where we've lost a good 5 or 6 cars. So there's logic in staying with it. And if nothing else, I suppose it's practice.
If one car just makes a mistake to the point where that car ends up in the wall and
there's one.
That's very topical right there.
Commentator, that's one me. That's one for Kodiak. Sparky. Yeah, we both did the same thing. We both jumped on Sparky to see what the incident was, and Sparky flew off the road. So
I think it's just too late on the brakes there for Richards, and our car's gone now, unfortunately. But there's a tire wall there, Tech Pro barrier and everything. I think he may have gotten stuck in that one, and certainly looked like it from the positioning of the blip on the track map. Richards ended up in that Tech Pro barrier, and
isn't that where Schumacher and Hamilton tangled?
That is very, very true. Yes.
Was it there? I think it was there, wasn't it?
It was there. Yeah.
Okay, the track was a bit different. Back it was 2014. Can't remember.
It's one of these years.
Yeah. No, it can't be 14.
It was there. However, at the time that barrier did not have the Tech Pro barrier around.
Yeah, very true. No, it couldn't have been 14 because that's when Schumacher. That's the year I think. Didn't he have his accident in 2014? The Schumacher film's coming out soon. I think it's next week on Netflix. I want to see that. I think most of the world wants to see that. So whilst I was never a Schumacher fan, you cannot say the name of Michael Schumacher without admiration, quite frankly. I don't care who you are or who you supported. You cannot deny the achievements of Michael Schumacher. Like I say, I was never an ardent Schumacher fan, but even I will acknowledge that he is one of the greats. I will always remain one of the greats as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think the incident you were thinking about wasn't with Hamilton. I think it was Schumacher and wasn't it Webber?
I thought it was Lewis that got.
It was either Red. I remember a Red Bull on there. But
Lewis blew his engine on that straight. No, beg your pardon. No, you may be right actually.
It was 2012 with Schumacher there at Singapore. Oh, it was Jean-Eric Verne in the Toro Rosso. Yes, it was. So Schumacher completely missed his braking point there, locked up, ran into the back. Meanwhile, safety car in this lap, by the way. And Cookie already floors it. He's already flying off. Sneaky, somewhat staying with him.
No! Their sniper has gone. That's another one. He just overcooked that. We actually saw that at the back of the shot. Sniper has nailed the wall. Surely that's going to bring the safety car out again.
No.
It's not looking like.
The safety car isn't ready yet to be taken back out.
Oh, blimey.
Because it's the game. Because the safety car has to sort of reset itself to the position where it usually parks.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And if it doesn't, then there's no safety car for whatever reason. At the very least, we could have a virtual safety car, but
It's
We don't
gone.
get that.
It's
Yeah,
despawned.
it's gone
so,
now. Yeah, the Kangaskhan is going to be flying right now. He might be the only challenge to those two Haas guys in front of you today.
Oh, Lucky Finger is very well. No, that's Sparky and Dan Field that are having a great argument with Lucky Finger right ahead of them. Wow, that got busy really quickly. The Williams squiggling out of the right-hander. Oh my goodness, out of 11, 12, 13. Now Sparky's on the medium tyres. Oh wow, he just mugged the Williams coming through turn 13. But I'm also keeping an eye on Kangaskhan. Oh, Cookie! Cookie's been overtaken. What happened there?
Good question. There's a lot going on there. Kangaskhan looking for a move. That's not an overtaking opportunity right there. But I think what's happened here, maybe these are team orders. Because they know the danger, they know the threat that Kangaskhan poses. Their idea, well, we put the faster guy right in front of Kangaskhan to make it harder to overtake, and that would be Cookie. He is the #1 driver in that team, I think, and they're gonna say, you know what, try and get past.
Oh my
Kangaskhan
word!
sticks his nose where it doesn't belong and gets spun around. That might end up on the steward's table, though. Nonetheless, it's a difficult situation. He sees a gap. It's there and then it closes. What do you do? It's just...
That was never on. That was never going to work. That gap was only ever going to close. You can never, ever pull a move like that into turn 3 unless you've gotten alongside before turn 1. That is never going to work. So I think... But I wonder whether Kangaskhan... I wonder whether he wasn't actually trying to make a move. He's just slightly too slow responding to the obviously slightly earlier braking zone that Cookie had. Because, of course, Kangaskhan on the medium tyres, he wants to brake a little bit later. Cookie on the hards, yada yada. I think it's just slightly too slow reactions from Kangaskhan. I don't know if he was actually trying to make a move. But Dan is on the back of Cookie. I wonder whether Cookie's hit the wall. Because suddenly he's nearly 2 seconds behind Sneaky. I think Cookie's hit the wall somewhere. And it's just really slow. And bearing in mind, he was some 7-8 seconds ahead before the safety car came out. But I think Cookie's hurt.
He might well be. He's losing more time here through this final sector, through these 90-degree corners. Sort of almost like Azerbaijan a little bit here, this final sector. Oh, wow. Almost puts it in the wall. It might be that he has damage. It might be that his setup is not well suited to the hard tire, that he was intending to go for a 2-stop, and the safety cars really caught him off guard, and these hard tires are just not getting up to temperature. That might be the other case. I don't know what it is ultimately. I mean, I'm trying to see if there's some damage on that front wing, but for the life of me, I can't find it. So
no, same.
Don't know. It's going to be difficult to spot, though, at the same time.
Oh, Dan!
Around the outside. That's a brave move. Has to go off track there. But now into turn 8. And that is the position taken. That's a remarkable overtake.
Take a round of applause.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of battling you want to see. I'm pretty sure that if that happened in real life, the FIA would be like, no, you overtook off the track. You have to give the position back. But no, this is what we love to see here.
Yeah, in fairness, from when I jumped to that, I had the helicam on. And at the point that Dan rejoined the track, he was behind Cookie. So as far as the game is concerned, that move was not complete off track. That's what it looked like to me anyway. I'm not involved in stewarding and I don't want to be involved in stewarding. Quite frankly, I've done my part. Oh, Sparky again. That's another penalty. He's on 6 now. Yeah, it is 6 for Sparky. If I get the right detail. There we go. So
Meanwhile, Kangaskhan has gained 2 seconds on Sneaky over the last 2 laps. He's in P8. It's a far battle. He has to make some positions through raw overtaking, but I mean 2 seconds in 2 laps. Those medium tires are treating Kangaskhan really, really well, but he has to make those overtakes happen quickly because those tires are not supposed to last. Oh, J. Cole's around.
Oh no, J. Cole this time. Down into turn 1. Oh my goodness.
Gets a 3-second time penalty that will be removed because he already spun and he's just trying to get back on the track, so that one will be removed.
Well, one of them certainly will be.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it was just a warning that put him over the threshold, then it might not be removed. But if it was a straight-up 3-second time penalty, it will certainly be removed.
True enough.
Depends on whatever it was, because sometimes the game just hands out direct 3-second time penalty, no warning required. And if that is one of those, it would definitely be gone after the race.
Oh,
Cookie and Sneaky both with penalties now.
He
That
does.
is a very good situation for Dan.
Isn't it?
It's almost an even better situation for Kangaskhan. Not only has he overtaken J. Cole after the mistake, he's also overtaken RJW on the hard tires and is now on the back of Sparky and Ollie, who are battling over P4. If he can clear those two, I reckon it's going to be a lap or 2 laps to 3 laps until he closes in on Cookie and Dan in front. And then Sneaky maybe another 2 laps. But he needs to make it happen quickly. That's the thing. The advantage that he has on those medium tires, it goes away every single lap. So he needs some urgency about him right now. And he needs to make those moves and make them quickly, because otherwise later on in the race he will not have any kind of advantage. Dan, the top 3 now all with penalties. My goodness, and Sparky as well. 4 in the top 5. Ollie could be on for a win here, but here goes Sparky down the inside. And that is what Kangaskhan would like to see, because now he might find an opportunity here to pick one off and then pick off the other.
Could well do, and Sparky got out of that one as J. Cole and Dan both in the pits now. Assuming there's repairs going on. They new front wing for J. Cole and medium tyres. What's Dan?
Oh, Sparky and Ollie going at it here. Sparky around the outside. This is not working as well as it did between Dan and Cookie. And Kangaskhan runs into the back of Sparky. Sparky left Ollie enough space around the outside for Ollie to take back the position. Sparky's going to spin. Sparky's going to spin and hits Kangaskhan, but I don't think there's damage for Kangaskhan. For Sparky, there certainly is. Front wing clean torn off the nose, but Kangaskhan has another position. That car was sliding early on through the corner, and at that point you couldn't hold it, and Sparky is around, lost a couple of positions there, down to 8. Kangaskhan now sizing up Ollie for a potential move. That cost him so much time, though. At this point, it's going to take him a lot longer to catch back up to Cookie, Dan, and Sneaky, but he might not have to in order to get the win. If those 3 stay close to each other and Kangaskhan stays penalty-free, then he might just have enough if he just closes up to Cookie, and he could cross the line in 4th, but get the win on penalties.
This is absolutely amazing. Now, I confess I'm not the biggest fan of Singapore in real life, but I've said numerous times, someone's off. Is that J. Cole that's gone? No, it's Sparky again.
Sparky again.
Yeah, he's that damage is really hurting him. I mean, yeah, there's not much left of the nose. But one thing, I'm not... Oh, go on.
He runs deep again, Sparky does, into the runoff area. Now he's sort of stuck there. Can he make it back onto track? Yes, he can. Sees J. Cole come past there, and still has to go into the pit lane. It's up. J. Cole doesn't have any damage. There goes Kangaskhan and Ollie. That's into turn 7. That's a clean move before the braking zone. Kangaskhan says thank you very much. Meanwhile, the top 3 are getting ever so close here as well.
Yeah.
And since they're all on 3 seconds, this is anyone's game right now.
100% is. Now, I've said several times that I may not be a fan of a race in real life, but its esports version is always more exciting. Is this not testament to that statement? This is absolutely incredible. Haas and Alpine and Haas, Williams and Haas up front for the potential win. All of them on the same penalty count, same tyres, different life of tyres. I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make in the hard tyres with the laps we have left, but we will see. If anything, it's going to go against Sneaky because his tyres are 6 lap older. Kangaskhan, the lead medium runner, is 3.2 seconds behind Cookie. Doesn't have to make the move, just needs to keep it penalty free and close in on those ahead of him. RJW, I think, is he still got the fastest lap? I've hit the wrong thing. No, Sparky, beg your pardon, has the fastest lap at the moment. RJW has just got himself on the penalty board. It seems like whoever's name I mentioned suddenly hits grief. I'll just leave the booth now, I think. It's safer for everybody.
I mean, I've had that many times before myself. You mention a name, all of a sudden there's calamity involved with that driver. And meanwhile, Dan goes for the move. Wow, down the inside, but he runs too wide. He's going to have to give up the position.
And he did.
Yep, Sneaky gets him right back Oh, wow, that's a nice little battle there. And they cost each other so much time that Kangaskhan is probably, he doesn't even see most of it.
Whoa! Good catch, Cookie.
Kangaskhan doesn't see most of it, but he looks at the delta and he goes, oh, they must be battling. I like this because right now, Kangaskhan is the net, well, he was for a split second, the net leader of the race based on penalties. Now he's not anymore, now he is again. It's right on the verge of those 3 seconds, and with them battling up front like Sneaky, Dan, and Cookie are, there's a good chance Kangaskhan will win this race. The question is, will he try to get above? Sparky's around again there on the exit of 14, and that's not going to hurt anyone all too much other than Sparky, of course. But yeah, Kangaskhan, the McLaren, hunting down the 2 Haas and the Williams in between, and my goodness, last 12 laps, or sorry, last 11 laps, apologies, can't count properly. The last 11 laps of this race should have just started. What was, there you go. Took a second for it to switch around. But yeah, 11 laps to go, and Kangaskhan's advantage is shrinking every single lap on compared to those hard tires. If we look at the lap times for the likes of Sneaky, Dan, and Cookie, let me just quickly check them. We're talking for Sneaky mid 39s. Dan mid 30.
D Perry's in the wall again. He was almost in the points because he was about to overtake Sparky, but sadly he's binned it at turn 16. Sorry, Badger, carry on.
Mid 39s for the top 3, low 38s for Kangaskhan. 1.5 seconds still.
Oh, Sparky still hasn't made it back to the pits following when he'd lost his front wing about 3 laps ago. He hasn't actually made it back to the pits yet. He's just coming through turn 20 and 21 now. So D Parry has now got back on track as Sparky bounces off the wall again. If D Parry didn't damage his front wing and he's carrying on anyway, D Parry is actually in the points from having been in the pits at least twice and causing the safety car to come out. Oh, was it Parry? Yeah, I think it was Parry that caused the safety car to come out.
But don't forget, points are for the top 12 here, so even Sparky's still in the points.
I forget that. I'm thinking normal points paying system. And here we go. Kangaskhan is within a second of Cookie now. So all he has to do is just sit there and keep it on the straight and narrow and just let the top 3 fight it out amongst themselves. Now, the problem with that is that it's all too easy to just try and make the challenge and give yourself that last warning. Can you double check Kangaskhan's warnings for me, please? So see how many he's on. Soft tires to Sparky.
Oh, he's on 2. I've got both of them in the same lap. Lap 16.
Oh, no. And, that's another one for Jake Cole.
Yeah, he got both of them on the same lap and not in the same corner or anything, so he can't make a glitch or something count and say, hey, I got 2 warnings for the same corner, which can happen on this game sometimes. It didn't happen here. So, Kangaskhan on 2 warnings, got them both lap 16. He has to be careful. So,
and it's so easy to kind of get distracted by the battle in front of you and make your own position worse. So we'll see. Is Kangaskhan able just to keep it under control? Now the car directly behind him is, I think that's Sparky. Yes. So Sparky's now on soft tyres. Why not? He may as well just go out there and get the fastest lap and have some fun. Hopefully he won't try and unlap himself from the top 3 that are right ahead of him. Wow, as he gives that a bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 16, I think it was. This top 3 really could go any way because Dan has shown really good pace against the 2 houses. Sneaky's got himself 6.5 tenths or so of breathing space at the moment. Is Cookie going to try and make a move? No, he's too far back to try anything at this stage. Kangaskhan just doing what he needs to do. As Sparky has another penalty on the board, I doubt he'll care at this point, as he's just out there for his own gain. But, I'm pressing wrong keys here, there and everywhere. Apologies to the viewers. There's Ollie, who's got RJW for company.
Cookie going for the move into turn 7. He sticks his nose in there. They're side by side. And Dan has the inside. Cookie with the switchback. The old switcheroo, as Crofty likes to say, but not the case. There goes the ghosted car of Sparky to get involved as well. Trying to unlap himself, it seems, from the second time he was lapped. And that could really, I think this could be really, throwing someone off. That all of a sudden you see a ghosting car just drive through you out of nowhere. You don't expect it. You don't see it in the mirrors very much. And all of a sudden it's just there and it drives through you. That can really hurt your concentration. But so far the driver's doing a good job of holding their cars on the track. Sneaky, let's see, he will get surprised here. Thankfully on corner exit, so it won't hurt him as much. On corner entry, that might be quite frightening.
Oh, Cookie! He lost the tail end in between 18 and 19. I think he managed to keep that one out of the wall, but he had to get out of that, as cost him time. As Sparky,
Sparky's around.
Sparky's around again. Oh no, this race couldn't go any worse for him right now, could it? The Alfa Romeo runner is just, is everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for him. As we are on board Kangaskhan now, as he's acting as our camera car, and he'll be wanting that lap counter to disappear as quickly as he can. These will feel like the longest 8 laps of his sim racing lifetime, I'd have thought.
Yeah, quite frankly, these could be the 8 longest laps, considering how slow the track is. So I wouldn't be surprised. But then again, if he's ever done a sim racing around Le Mans, obviously that's quite a bit longer. But that's not an F1 track. Either way. I mean, even around Azerbaijan and Spa, which are the 2 longest tracks in terms of distance, the lap time's only about 10 seconds longer than here. And this is a 5-kilometer track. This is like just barely over 5 kilometers, and Azerbaijan is 6, and Spa is 7. So that gives you an idea as to how long this track really is, how slow this track really is. Cookie going for the move on Dan. Nope, he has a look, but decides against it. Probably a good call there. Do not send it down the inside of 14. And he'll have to be a bit more patient. But we can see Cookie has some pace to him as well. And I think, I'm quite surprised that Dan has not been able to challenge Sneaky just yet. Because that 6-lap difference in the tires, that's roughly, I would say, about 4 to 5 tenths every single lap. And that advantage, Dan just cannot make work to get the position. We have a yellow flag that I think is Sparky again. Yeah. And another thing to look out for in these last 7 laps, Kangaskhan's tires are getting to the end of their life. The hard tires ahead, they'll be absolutely fine. There's no question about that. But those medium tires, they won't last that much longer. He did pit under safety car, and the safety car obviously lasted a couple of laps as well. But yeah, it's a tricky situation, I would say, that Kangaskhan is facing here. Will these tires even make it to the end at all? Well, he's still improving in the first sector by about half a tenth compared to his own fastest lap. But the middle sector is a bit more important, much more corners here. And then, of course, the final sector with the 90-degree corners and not many straights in between. That might even be the most important one for lap time here. So let's see what they say. If Kangaskhan still has pace in those tires, then that is a good sign for him. Because that means they have not hit the cliff just yet. Once they hit the cliff, he has, I think, about 2 to 3 laps on that set of tires until they puncture. Maybe 4 if he's lucky.
Sparky spun again. Yes.
Yeah.
He's I'm not really sure what Sparky's doing at this point. I thought he would have parked it by now, but maybe he just wants those couple of points. We were talking about that earlier. The points going down to 12th. May well just be just kind of minding his own business, basically.
Well, he has to be careful. He has to be careful. 90%. He has to complete 90% of the race. That is 27 laps. He is only allowed to be lapped 4 times. He's currently lapped twice, but he's about to be lapped for a 3rd time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that could get really, really dicey. He needs to keep it pointing the right way for most of the race. If he's lapped 5 times, he won't get the points. So, very, very dangerous. There's Dan is interested now in that winning position, at least for now.
Oh, no!
Winning position.
Oh, wrong Dan. Sorry.
Yeah, wrong Dan. It's mean for two drivers to be named Dan. I demand a name change.
Cookie. Oh, that was so close. But fair play to Excel, Dan, for actually giving the racing run there as they screen past.
Sneaky's around again, and that's the third time he's been lapped now. So he has one more free, but in 5 laps, considering how much time he's losing every single lap, it might very well happen that he gets lapped 2 more times, at which point he wouldn't get points at all. Right now, he would be getting 2, not 3, because J. Cole took the fastest lap off of him.
Oh, no.
But he would get 2 points. But if he gets lapped 2 more times, that's 0.
Sneaky's just giving himself another 3-second penalty, so now he will not finish. If the race finished now, he would be behind down in Cookie, let alone what KangaCon's doing. So another penalty for Sneaky as D. Parry's in the pits again. And the Aston Martin, that's almost, well, that is a free pit stop for him, considering how bad Sparky's race has gone. KangaCon's fallen a little bit off the back. He may well just be trying to conserve his tyres, taking your good advice on board there, Mr. Badgerman. These 3 are still just absolutely fighting it out. 1 minute Dan has a run on Sneaky, the next he's having to defend against KangaCon, against Cookie rather. And KangaCon is just enjoying the show, but trying to keep his car out of the wall as Sparky's continuing to decorate the track with Pirelli. Has he come in? Yes, he's actually come in this time. Is he going to retire? Probably not, because he's probably just going to pick up the points. But like you say, he has to do enough of the race to do that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, KangaCon is probably having 1 eye and a half on his tire temperatures, his tire wear, all that information that he needs right now to make sure that he can actually make it to the end of the race. He's almost falling off that train there. It's almost the same, but they are battling Dan down the inside of Sneaky, and almost when Sneaky gets the better exit, that's the benefit of having the outside line there. You can get on the throttle earlier, you have just a faster run through the corner, and that generally helps you on exit. So Sneaky keeps the position, and that helps KangaCon stay with the group, but that's important. He likes to see them battle. If these 3 want to have a chance at a podium, well, Sneaky doesn't care that much. He's currently got a P2 anyway. Dan might not care too much. He's currently got a P3, but for how much longer? I mean, with Ollie coming closer and closer, that might soon be gone. And Cookie, he wouldn't have a podium, but they have to work together. The battling doesn't help them. If they work together in these final 4 laps, then they have a good chance of actually gapping KangaCon enough so that he would not get the win.
We will see. And also, whilst they're fighting, now at the moment, they're not going to get it. No!
3 wide! Whoa! 3 wide! Are you serious? No way! Oh, with the Haas
What
gets
the hell? My goodness me, the Haas have swapped! Yeah, they have. Dan is still second, and Cookie is now decided.
Oh, Dan almost spins around.
And was there damage to KangaCon there? I think he just managed to avoid contact, but Cookie is now. Has he suddenly got a bit more pace to himself? But that's bringing Ollie and RJW into this fight. They're only a couple of seconds back. Not even that behind them now. Where the hell did that come from? A long way back is the answer to that.
When you have the third car in the train having a massive amount of overspeed from the corner, the second car in the train getting DRS as well as the third car, and the leader just having absolutely nothing to defend himself with, then you get this situation and the leader ends up in third with Sneaky, and the third place ends up in the lead with Cookie. It's a remarkable swap right there with the car in between. It's like turning around an Oreo. It looks the same either way, with the 2 Haas just on the outside there. My goodness, that is just incredible stuff there. And now look how Dan is just driving away from Sneaky. Sneaky was the cork in the bottle here.
Looked like it,
Cookie and Dan have significantly more pace. That half a second a lap now shows it might actually be more. And KangaCon is no longer the net leader. That is Cookie now. That might just have changed the course of this race. KangaCon needs to get past Sneaky as quickly as possible. Is he going to try and make a move here into turn 7? He's just too far away. Not there quite yet. And no surprise move into 8 either, but look at how much later he can be on the brakes, Kangaskhan. That is a good opportunity, and in fact, he is the net leader again, is Kangaskhan.
He's right on the cusp of it, yeah.
Yeah, Cookie made a mistake, I think, because Dan is within a second of Cookie now. Kangaskhan is probably throwing up a prayer right now. Hopefully for him, the racing gods answer that Dan and Cookie are battling for the last 2.5 laps of this race, because the more they battle, the easier it is for Kangaskhan to be close.
And right behind is Ollie. Ollie in the Mercedes is now on the back of Kangaskhan. This is not done. This is not decided. This is absolutely incredible. I can't believe this. Yeah, Sneaky has fallen miles off the back of Cookie and Dan now. So he's now holding up those behind. And I reckon you're right. I think the best has been burnt from those medium tyres. Kangaskhan had it all under control until Cookie. Probably Cookie realised that situation. Maybe they're listening to us and we gave the game away. Either way, Cookie probably realised that he's got to get on with it to prevent Kangaskhan stealing the win right from underneath them. And now Ollie is involved in that battle. This could go absolutely anywhere. At the moment, Cookie is the net leader, I believe. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he is by 0.7 of a second. So Kangaskhan is currently second. But for so long, he was...
Oh, here we go. Kangaskhan on... No, he decides against it again. And this hesitation is what's going to lose him the win.
Yeah.
I got to say, you have to be a bit more aggressive, a bit more risky. You have to try just a bit more. And I know it's not the easiest thing, but you have such an advantage. Well, not so much anymore at this point in the race. But, I think maybe he lost this race, not now, not a lap or two ago, but the moment he closed in on those three, he was at the back of Cookie at the time, and he did not attack them. That was the moment I think he lost the race, because he had a massive advantage. The tires were always going off. If he gets past those three and into the lead, then he has a great chance of just driving off into the Singaporean sunset and celebrate a victory here.
We will see as the lead is now coming through. 19, 20, 21. And it could be that Dan's got nothing left to attack Cookie with. Final corner to start the final lap. Cookie leads Dan, leads Sneaky, although Sneaky's penalties will drop him a further 3 seconds behind the field. Kangaskhan had one hand on that potential win, but that has been very dramatically snatched away as he's now 1.4 seconds behind Sneaky. I think those tyres are absolutely done. He did his best to hang on to that position. He's still going to be on the podium at this point, but not the podium step he wanted. A great shame, but he's done a great effort, in fairness, to pretty much double his championship points tally of 14 leading into this stage. Ollie in 5th position with RJW on his tail, looking good for a good haul of points there as they continue to work their way through the streets. Down towards the Singapore sling. It looks like Cookie's got enough of an advantage to keep Dan at bay. Just got to keep it out of the wall, which is no easy feat in itself.
Yeah, certainly isn't, but they're all making a good job of that. Just staying out of the walls, keeping it out of the walls. And Dan not close enough here. At this point, he would need a mistake from Cookie somewhere to capitalize, pounce, and get that win off of Cookie. Sneaky, meanwhile, with 9 seconds of penalties now. And Dan gets a penalty. He's on 6 now. And that brings Kangaskhan back up to second, possibly. Oh, my. And only with the penalty. I can't believe it.
Sparky's decided to finally park his car. Or he's thrown it into the wall, either way. But your winner on track, and I think he's going to maintain it once again, is the House of Cookie. Celebrates to himself. Dan crosses the line in second. Sneaky will cross third. RJW does actually get ahead of Ollie just before the line, but Kangaskhan is elevated into second due to penalties. Dan third. Ollie up to fourth. Sneaky to fifth. RJW sixth. And Lucky Finger is going to come home in 7th position. And a few more turns to do. Oh, nearly.
Meanwhile, a note on Sparky. He ended his race the moment he got 27 laps in. So he is classified. He is classified. He knows that he will have 2 points.
In 11th position indeed. So here comes Lucky Finger. Oh, beg your pardon, Lucky Finger's already across the line. So J. Cole, it's been a race to forget for the Alfa Romeo pair. Oh, Richards has actually stayed with us all session. Around the final turn, and that is a dramatic way to finish in 8th place. Danfield will take 9th. Wow, he's just coming out of turn 14. But also, that means that D. Parry, despite all the pit stops, is claiming 10th place. We did say earlier that this was a track you want to just grit your teeth and bear it. And D. Parry is going to claim the points for 10th place as a result of that determination. Yeah,
his first points of the season. He's had 2 zeros and a DNF so far this season. So first points for D. Parry. I think first points for Danfield as well. 2 DNFs and a 0 as well. So points for Danfield here in 9th. J. Cole actually still gets 6 points from that. 5 from the position. And he had the fastest lap as well. So that's at least 6 points. He's up to 33 now. We'll see the rest of the points. I'll try to quickly calculate that. But what I can tell you is that we have a driver with over 100 points after just 5 races, and that is QBR Cookie, who's got his 4th win in 5 races.
Wow.
And he's now at 102 points.
Goodness me. Now the game gives the driver of the day to Kango Connell. I'd back that up. Starting near the back of the field on hard tyres and almost had the win were it not for that magic move from Cookie. Oh my goodness me, I have no issue at all backing that one up. What a race that has been. That is absolutely magic. So
and Kangukon actually more than doubles his points tally now, getting that 2nd place. That's 32 overall for him, which means he is 1 point behind J. Cole at this point. Remember, he was 13 behind before this race. Now he's 1 behind. As I said, Cookie on 102. We still have Velo in 2nd at 61. Droppier has lost 3rd because Sneaky now got 10 points, so he'll be on 48 in P3. Then Droppier in 4th with 40. Then we've got, I think RJW would be 5th still, but more decisively now in 5th with 37, only 3 points behind Droppier. And then we've got J. Cole and Kangakon in 6th and 7th. LTU, of course, not here. And I think, Ollie, where did Ollie finish again?
I can't remember. I'm out of the game.
That's quick.
I want to say it was 7th. I can't entirely remember.
No, I'm pretty sure it was higher than that. It was 4th, yeah. So he's getting 12 points. So he'll be at 38 So he'll be at 38, 1 ahead of RJW, actually. Oh, no, hold up. One second. I'm making mistakes here. RJW will have 35. Ollie will have 38. So Ollie will be 5th. RJW 6th. J. Cole 7th. Kangukon 8th. There we go. Now we finally got it. My goodness, that was difficult.
Well, what a crazy race that was. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We hope you spectating along with us have enjoyed it as much as we have. Now, our drivers have the opportunity to come and chat to us. They don't have to. It is not mandatory. But we do very much enjoy getting their thoughts after a race, especially a race like that. Good Lord. We do have one driver that's had, shall we say, mixed fortunes tonight. But first point of the season nonetheless. Dan Field, are you with us, sir?
Hello.
Challenging for you, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, you know what? I'm just happy to have finished the race. I got damaged twice. And then I was on the mediums. I got to like 40% and just all the grip died.
Oh,
and
no.
J. Cole overtook me, so I was like, alright, I'm not going to catch him, so I might as well just pit for softs.
Oh my goodness! But I mean, was this always going to be a race to survive for you, or did you have? Were you looking forward to maybe a higher result than where you were?
I wasn't expecting much, considering I did about maybe 4 or 5 laps of practice, and I did that at about 6 p.m. today. So I think just to finish, I'm happy.
Fair play. I'm not sure where we are next. I didn't bring up the season list. That's a bad show of me.
That would be France.
Ah, Magny-Cours. So, what's your thoughts?
No, Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard. My God, that's showing my age, Magny-Cours. Is that a favourite for you, Dan?
You know what? For a lot of drivers, it's actually not. But I really do like France. So I think podium loading, you know.
Ah, you heard it here first. We wish you the best of luck for next time out and also for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Dan Field.
Thank you very much.
We have our race winner with us once again. 4 out of 5, Mr. Cookie. What a race you had, sir. We had great fun shouting about, in fact, that whole top bunch. But that one move, did you kind of realise that the points position you were all in? Or was it just, okay, I have the opportunity to make the move, therefore I'm going to go for it?
No, I was trying the whole hard stint behind Dan, trying to get close to him enough because I saw he was derating. He was low on ERS basically for the whole stint, trying to overtake Sneaky. So yeah, I was just seeing him always, get below 10% every single lap. So I was just saving the ERS, trying to, do some different lines to kind of distract him and do a few mistakes. But yeah, at the end, got one opportunity and sent it.
Didn't you just? Now, we were saying for so long that if you'd kind of remained where you were, with you being further back in that train, that KangoCon was potentially going to get that win, but because you made that move, were able just to get enough gap to undo your penalty, that secured another win for you. But again, did you realise that? Did you have any idea of the kind of positions you were penalty-wise, or was it just a case of surviving?
No, I knew where I was. I knew, I was controlling the race from the get-go. I think even after the safety car restart, I was controlling it. I was planning on, giving my teammate a DRS the whole stint and trying to secure 1-2. But turns out he got a penalty soon into the second stint. So I let him by, thinking that it's going to be a good strategy call, so he can get away and he can still get 1-2. But Dan overtook me, so yeah, I was trying to push and got a penalty myself. So from then on, I knew I had to make a move, and if I wanted to get podium, because KangoCon was behind me really close and had no penalties. But yeah, I was kind of lucky, I have to say. Didn't expect to get the chance to overtake Dan.
Amazing stuff. And what about France? Is that one you look forward to, or one you're happy to just get finished and over and done with?
I love France, first of all. Big fan of it. But I think, unfortunately, I will miss the next race due to work, which is kind of a shame. But
you're giving everybody else a chance. That's very sporting of you, Vicky.
That's right.
We will see you upon your return, in which case, thank you very much for an amazing race yet again. Well done on an amazing win, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Cookie.
Thank you.
Have we had anybody else come join us? No, we haven't. That's absolutely fine. Everyone else is probably knackered after all that. And I wouldn't blame
them. As
am I. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm going to conk out now after this. I think now's a good time to wrap this one up. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream and post-event. Great pleasure to have you along for the ride. Thank you very much, Mr. Badgerman. What an amazing race we've just had. It's always made that much more pleasant by your dulcet tones. Always a pleasure. Thank you kindly, Mr. Badgerman.
Thank you very much as well to you. Always covering the action. I'm just trying to bring in a little bit of expertise here. And speaking of that expertise, I gotta tell you from experience, France next week, you're gonna need the time to relax. You're gonna need that 1 week to relax, because France, as much on F1 2021 as it was on F1 2020, always throws up insane races to commentate.
I have absolutely no doubt. So, where are we? I'm looking at the calendar. So yes, that is on the 17th, so next weekend. That is when we are going to be facing the track of France. My goodness me, here's Our drivers are putting on an amazing show every single time, and we look forward to doing for them doing the same again. Thank you very much to our drivers for, as I putting on one of the best shows we've seen all season, and we look forward to doing it all over again next week. You know where to find us. You know when. Please do come along for the ride. Until then, thank you very much, and good night.